And tonight, it's a game fit for a Sunday, absolutely. You have Jason Castro, the Blur, leading this Talk and Text team. And now they're becoming familiar with each other because, they brought in a familiar import in Donnell Harvey. That certainly helps in establishing that winning chemistry. And for Ginebra, you have Mark Caguioa. And Mark Caguioa, he is like fine wine. He gets better and better with age. Malavino. Mark Caguioa. And of course, you have Vernon Macklin. And combining with LA, providing a lot of excitement for Ginebra. It is Super Bowl Sunday, and for these two teams, they're trying to re-establish their position as possible contenders here in the PBA Commissioner's Cup. Magandang gabi po, Miko Aliliwad, Jason Webb. And Jason, I think when you look at the team standings, it's sort of misleading because of the way these two teams can actually play.
Pag nakita natin kanina yung T-card natin, it says bagong pag-asa. And yung pag-asa na yun, you have to say nagsisimula sa dalawang import ng dalawang kapunan. They struggled with their imports to start this conference, and since they brought in the new imports, things have changed. On one end, you have Talk and Text 2-game win streak. On the other end, para sa Barangay Ginebra, they've won 2 of their last 3 games, and you look at the energy level of Barangay Ginebra since Macklin has arrived, it's a different team.
So the imports have not been a constant kasi nga nagpalit sila ng mga import. A man who has been a constant for years para sa Ginebra, siyempre, that's Mark Caguioa.
Mark Caguioa, and in his last game, Miko, ito yung sinasabi, still the king because in that Manila Clasico, antindi ng labanan, a lot of players played well, but when it was crunch time, like you said, they opened the bottle of fine wine, and fine wine came out of Mark Caguioa, and he was able to finish strong.
And according to Coach Francis Chua, Mark Caguioa showed that he is still Mark Caguioa. Ang gin ba habang tumatagal?
Alam ko yung mga umiinom ng gin pag binuksan, inuubos ka agad hindi na pinapatagal.
Okay, LA Tenorio seems that he is enjoying basketball again. He's smiling more, and now he's part of highlight plays, especially with the alley-oop passes to Vernon Macklin and for more in LA. Let's bring in Miss Erica Padilla.
Isang malaking boost daw talaga sa moral ng Ginebra ang huling pagkakapanalo nila against Ceramic Coffee Mixers. Pero naramdaman na daw nila ang improvement nila nung huling laban pa lang nila against Rain or Shine. It was just last game nung talaga namang nagsama-sama ang lahat from chemistry to defense to offense, kaya naman sila nanalo. But the main concern tonight is to defend effectively against the guards of TNT. Pero higit dyan, LA reiterates how much they should be able to do their part para sa mga fans ng Ginebra. Every time daw natatalo sila, hindi lang daw sila ang nidi-disappoint. Siyempre kasama nila ang buong barangay. That's why they should be able to take it upon themselves every time to give their supporters a one big fight. Balik sa inyo.
I like how you snuck in that one big fight sa dulo, ha? I like it. But, sakto naman, while Erica was reporting, LA was right beside Erica. And, may ngiti si LA, and yung ngiti na yun, it's different. Meron siyang ibang dating.
Still, when LA started this conference, he was very high on what the team would accomplish. It did not show with the record that they had. Hindi rin nakita natin yun dun sa performance ni LA. LA has turned things around personally in terms of what he has been giving on the floor. But more importantly, as a player, basta na nanalo, it doesn't matter what your numbers are because for all the players, generally, it's all about winning, and they're finally winning.
Well, for Talk and Text, this team has always been about winning, and malaking bagay dyan because they've always been fully loaded. In their last game, it's all about spreading the wealth, and you can only do that if your offense allows it na maraming magdo-double figures.
At ito nangyayari ngayon dahil dumating na si Donnell Harvey, a guy that they are comfortable with. Alam nila kung ano i-expect kay Donnell Harvey, at maganda kay Donnell Harvey, he allows the locals to play their game. When you look at the stand or the scoring of the players in that game, mapapansin natin, like you said, the wealth was spread around. Harvey 23, Conasher 17, Caso 11, De Ocampo 11, Alapag 10. That's what Talk and Text wants to see. That's what Coach Norman expects from his players.
Let's send you over to the Coliseum announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen,
look at that matchup and you look at that lineup. The one thing that Barangay Ginebra should have an advantage on is at least that center slot every time Macklin is on the floor because he's much bigger than Donnell Harvey. Mainit pa from last week.
From Manila Classico. He still has it. Here's Jared. That's a block by Billy Mamaril. Billy Mamaril had that scintillating first half for Ginebra.
And that's what Ginebra needs. Alam natin, depth-wise, they have a lot of good players, very good players, top of the lineup. But yung mga helpers nila, as you see Cadillo get his second basket, yung mga role players nila, hindi pwedeng walang inaambag. Kaya importante, guys like Billy Mamaril, get their points or their rebounds, whatever is necessary.
So Dillinger is joined by Castro, Ranidel, Fonasher, and Donnell Harvey. And here's Ranidel firing away. That's good.
Both teams starting the year, he struggled on the offensive end. And this is a good start for both of them right now. You can see Barangay Ginebra 7 points in the first minute of this game.
Do you subscribe to the idea that the faster Ginebra plays, the better they get?
Right now, I'm still not really sure. People still not sure what Ginebra wants to do or has to do. But the one thing, though, is that they're a much improved defensive team ever since Macklin arrived.
Here's Mamaril, and Ginebra scores, and that's off a turnover. A steal by LA leading to a layup para kay Billy Mamaril.
I think Mark Aguirre put it very well when he said that yung import nila ngayon, masarap kalaro dahil may gana. And when you're locals, like the import, they play hard.
Another defensive stop. Look out, LA. Unit was not happening. Meantime, Larry wide open. That's good for a three.
One at Barangay Ginebra looking for that highlight play. Talking Tex on the other hand, basically Ginebra gave up a layup, and in this league, when you miss layups or you turn the ball over on fast breaks, you pay on the other end.
There's Ellis, Macklin. Back reads 8 among ng tatlong Ginebra. Ellis trying to go back to Macklin and anticipated perfectly by Donnell Harvey. 14 to shoot. We are in the early moments of the opening quarter. Here's Harvey.
They missed it. Then for Talking Tex, Ranidel is being guarded by Ellis. You got to go to Ranidel. You got to go to that matchup where you feel you have an advantage.
Oh, he got the bounce.
Good start para sa Barangay Ginebra, Miko. Things falling their way as seen by that three-point shot. Three-point shooting generally not been kind to Barangay Ginebra dito sa konferensyang ito. At the start of this game, it is falling for them.
You know, it's a big game when people are booing anyone. The free throw line. We're in the first quarter.
Yun, first quarter pa lang, yun yung matindi doon. Wala pang ginagawa.
Wala pang ginagawa si Ranidel. Pocket Tex climbing back here within 4 points.
Of course, Ranidel has had his history with Barangay Ginebra. Remember that game in which he was thrown out in that semifinal series, which led to Barangay Ginebra moving forward 3-4 years ago.
Spike Kagiwa, rebound Harvey. Quickly sends it to Dillinger. Dillinger attacks the defense of Kagiwa. Rebound Mamaril. Macklin. A one-on-one against Donnell Harvey. Macklin, whoa! Wanted to throw that down. Wow. People still abuzz with that attempt as Mamaril misses.
Wow, both teams, Nico. 5 out of 5 so far combined yung dalawang koponan. Talking Tex going 3 for 3. Barangay Ginebra 2 for 2 mula sa 3-point line.
And also watching Macklin and Harvey very closely.
Actually, 2 out of 3 ang Barangay Ginebra because they missed the one of Mark Nagiwa. You were saying?
Yeah, Macklin and Donel Harvey.
Kinakainitan.
Oo eh. Kasi parang tinuturo-turo pa ni Macklin kanina. Meantime, here's Larry for 3. Yes, sir! You want a Super Bowl Sunday? You have a Super Well, with Macklin Ginebra against a tireless rebounder, defender, highlight machine, just a guy who provides energy and makes it easy for his teammates to be energetic. And then, siyempre may mga limitations din siya. Now, you look at Donel Harvey, we're very familiar with Donel and what he can do for Talking Tex. And his teammates know that he's a tough interior defender. He's a no-nonsense import.
Yes, and the thing is, he knows the system of Talking Tex. That's why, even if they made that change, they didn't lose a beat. Actually, kung titignan mo, napaganda pa nga yung pagpalit sa kanya. They didn't even have any time necessary para to have Donel get into the system.
Telling you, these two imports are beginning to dislike each other this game. Mark Nagiwa with 7 points in the opening period.
Kung ako si Macklin, iisipin ko, pilay-pilay ba yung kalaban ko? Nare-reboundan pa ako. Because if you look at Donel Harvey, it seems like he has like a gimpy leg, but ganun na talaga siya eh.
It's a quirk, diba? Just parang unique trait. Alam mo, parang off-balance. That's actually how he is.
Turnovers, hurling, Barangay Ginebra hurling.
Here's Larry for 3. Rebound, Ellis. Ginebra on the move. 3-on-2 break. Macklin sends it home.
Because there's a reason why this arena is full. Gustong-gusto ng fans makita yung mga galaw ni Macklin na gano'n. They love Ginebra right now in the open court.
And in typical Donel Harvey fashion, ganun siya gaganti. No nonsense. Basic lang, 2 points.
Shot lang sa kanto, hindi pa tumalon. Hindi pilay-pilay pa, patapa.
We're approaching the halfway mark of the opening period. We're all tied up at 16. Here's Billy Mamaril at the post.
Nice pass on the part of Mark Nagiwa because he did not become greedy. Nakita niya maganda yung position ni Billy Mamaril sa ilalim and he was willing to pass the basketball.
That's a push. Castro pushing LA and LA making sure that everybody in the Coliseum saw what happened.
You see right here, this is the rack attack on the fast break, and it is 3 ooze courtesy of the Araneta Clown.
Because they could see the replay. For more on Macklin, let's go back to Erica.
Iba talaga ang naidudulot kapag maganda ang chemistry ng import at ng locals. Mas madali daw para kay Vernon ang gawin ng role niya because the team has been very receptive sa kanya. He's very happy sa kung ano man ang naibibigay niyang energy sa team dahil din daw he's been listening to the needs of everybody, and as a result, nagiging maganda ang communication on the court. Whatever he gets to do on the court just happens because may understanding na sila. Tinginan pa lang. Balik sa inyo.
Erica, when you talk to Macklin, does he strike you as yung parang shy type ba siya or siya yung parang very confident type?
You know, every time I get to talk to Vernon, actually he's not a shy type. He expresses himself very well. He knows his basketball. He's able to, I can see every time I go to their practices that very well immersed na siya sa kanyang mga teammates. Naglolokohan sila. Siguro nakakatulong na rin na maraming Phil-Ams kasi sa Ginebra.
So in other words, hindi siya na-intimidate sa'yo.
Hindi naman.
Thank you, Erica. We now know more things about Vernon, and missed the layup that time, and here's Castro on the move. We're all tied up at 18. He fires a 3, and the blur will miss. Kelly Williams is now in the game, and he gets blocked by Ellis, and it's last touch on Kelly Williams.
Kelly Williams doing the right thing. He gets the rebound, but credit Ellis dahil nandun siya kahit na mas maliit siya kay Kelly Williams, still going for the block shot.
Under 5 minutes to go in the opening period, and Mamaril sends it to LA. LA for 3. Wow, LA really looking for his 3-point shot in this game.
You know, the Talking Tex team, a lot of times they're going under, and that's giving enough space para dito kay LA Tenorio for that 3-point shot.
Harvey. Outside Jared. Here's Castro on the right side. At the post, Donnell Harvey. Shot clock winding down. And Harvey with a miss. Here's LA. Hesitation move. Pulling up. No go. Rocket Dex down by 3. Harvey with the rebound. Bagong shot clock for Rocket Dex.
So far, Donnell Harvey, one thing that he's doing better than his counterpart is rebounding. Larry also playing very well. The best player of the game, huling laban nila. And he's very sharp today. Getting his 3-point shots. Tapos may tira pa siya sa loob.
8 points so far for Larry for the share. Nearing the 3-minute mark of the opening period. Oh, Kagiwa trying to shoot over Donnell Harvey. Wala ngayon ng Pocket Dex. They're down by 1. Larry has been red hot in the opening period. Locates Jared, who's wide open. Ball ends up with Kagiwa. Nahabot siya ni Jared. Jared got the steal. And here's Jason Castro. No! Missed it! And a foul. Preemptive foul by Kagiwa.
Castro's actually down. Wonder what happened. It almost felt like Jason Castro was expecting the contact. Contact never came dahil masyado ko mabilis eh.
Yeah, actually, hindi siya tinamaan at all. Ni Peli pa rin. That's how fast he is. There's a preemptive foul by Mark. We'll take this time out. Festive atmosphere inside the Big Dome para sa Super Bowl Sunday. Meantime, mahiinit na strikes at goals ang muling bibida sa Barclays Premier League. Babanderan ng Manchester United laban sa hindi magpapatalong Reading Football Club. Bukas na 5 p.m. dito lang sa Active. Billy Crawford. Talagang katabi si Boss Willie. Barkada. Yeah. Ayan eh. Magka-age group. Kababata.
Oh,
That's why they're seated beside
ang
each other.
tatay ni Billy Kababata.
Hindi ah. No, of course not. Si Billy mismo. Yeah. Pero ano ah, he really said, mamaya, katabi ko ang mga celebrities. They'll want to sit beside me. You know, one subplot of this game, the coaching duel between Francis Chua and Norman Black. Why don't you provide some history for the kids? Sige na. Bakit?
Actually, at one time, Coach Al Francis was the assistant of Coach Norman after the Tanduay days, and then after that, Coach Al Francis took over that spot sa Santa Lucia.
The team that was retired para sa inyo ni Richard.
No, sorry, ni-retire yung number namin ng Santa Lucia.
Kulang pa yun. Pati yung Santa Lucia, ni-retire.
Ni-retire dahil sobrang taas yung nila, yung tiwala at respeto sa
dalawa.
amin.
Right, that's right. In fact, yun lang the only case all over the world that a franchise was retired for 2 players. On the line is Kirby Raimundo. Kirby coming off the bench. Keith Jensen making a rare appearance for Ginebra. He's on the floor right now, joining LA. Kirby made a free throw. Rudy Hatfield and Mac Barakel. So basically an overhaul of the unit on the floor, with LA being the only remnant from the starting unit.
And because of how the pace of the game has been, that's both coaches realizing na kailangan talaga magpahinga ng mga players nila because they were running really quick to start the game.
Here's LA against Jimmy, and over to Kirby, and Kirby gets the layup.
Both teams have not really taken care of the ball that well dito sa ating first quarter, and both teams have made the other pay pa nagkakaroon ng turnover.
Here's Aaron Abad, and he missed that 3-point shot. So I have under 2 minutes left in what has been a pulsating opening quarter. That would be a foul laban kay Aaron Abad.
Number 51-year-old Ahmad, that's his
You
first.
know, Jimmy talking to Aaron Abad, he said, you don't have to fight through that. You go over the screen because there's a screen right across. You don't have to fight it because if you fight it, mas mahuli ka pa doon sa screen.
Good save by Harvey Carey. And now Jimmy crosses the half-court line. 1 minute remaining in the first. And Jimmy knocks it down.
I think they're going to review that, but right now that's a three-point shot. Seems everyone is making threes para sa talk and text. Why not Jimmy?
8 years back Barakael against Aaron Abad. Barakael. Misses. Wala pa rin ang Ginebra. They have a new shot clock. Pull and pass inside of Kirby. And Kirby can't score. Rudy Hatfield flying out of nowhere. And here's Keith Jensen and wisely sends it back to LA Tenor.
And a good job by the big men of Ginebra. They've been getting good deep post position.
Here's Barakael. Shot clock reads 12. Ginebra down by 1. Rudy makes his move. And Rudy almost loses the ball. And Rudy misses. And he still has it. And he finally scores.
If you're a Ginebra fan, you're happy to see Rudy Hatfield at this level. Yung kita mong excitable siya kaagad pagpasok pala ng laro.
So Doc and Dex told me to write the last sentence of the first chapter. 7 seconds on the TNT in the opening period. Rabah Lusaini fires and misses. 2 seconds to go. And Rudy will launch it. It's the backboard. That's how we'll end the opening quarter. And Ginebra lamang ng isa, 26-25. Larry was red hot in that opening quarter para sa Doc and Dex. But Ginebra will lead by 1 at the end of the first.
Ikaw yung sumagip mo sa mga tao. Paano naman naging bayani yung isang taong mahal niya sa buhay, hindi niya nailigtas? Hindi mo matatakasan kung ano ka.
Ang isinumpa, magiging tagapagligtas. Siya si Kidlat. Gabi-gabi, 6:45 p.m. sa TV5.
It's Super Bowl Sunday indeed dahil kasama natin ang ating super guest na si Mr. Billy Crawford. Billy, we know that you're good friends with LA. May napag-uusapan ba kayo outside of the court about kung ano naiisip niya about his team, about the games?
Well, bilang coach ni LA, actually he doesn't talk about what he does in the court. It's his business, and that's his job, in fairness sa kanya. Yes, kumpare yun si LA. But all I know is he's very happy, obviously, where he's at right now. It's an amazing player and a good friend of mine. Pero alam niya, nabubuisit sa akin kasi alam niya na talk and text ako eh.
Pero ngayon, alam naman natin na tawag ito, this is a very big game for Ginebra. Anong masasabi mo sa nilalaro ng Ginebra so far?
Well, right now it's really aggressive playing. I don't know if this is a UFC match or a PBA game, but that's what basketball is about. But they're good sport, and both teams need a win. So I think they're both gonna try their best to actually have that win.
So on that note, why don't we invite everybody to support all the time PBA?
That's right. Keep on watching PBA. Do not miss a game. Promise. It's gonna be extra exciting. It's gonna be something else. This year, it's definitely something to watch for. So PBA, tandaan nyo, panoorin nyo lagi.
Ayan, maraming salamat sa iyo, Billy. Balik sa inyo dyan.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Crawford. But everyone is ready to fire that three-point shot tonight.
Very entertaining because of the offense that we're seeing, and both teams running and both teams making shots from the outside.
Jensen also wants to fire a three, and he almost got the bounce. Battles for the rebound, and ends up with Kelly Williams. Here's Rabah.
It's the shots that they're giving him the shot that he thinks he can make. At 17-footer, hindi na bumabagsak para sa kanya.
Welcome to the second quarter in the Super Bowl Sunday matchup between Pocket Tex and Ginebra, and a good post-up goal for Rabah Lusaini.
Better idea on his part. He's about 6'7". Top pinakamalaking player sa Barangay Ginebra. Kirby is about short of 6'5". Tapos mas malapad pa siya.
29-28, 1-point game para sa Ginebra. Kirby, Ginebra Barakael here. in.
Yes, a couple of poor shots para sa Ginebra. Very lucky for getting offensive rebound.
There's Harvey carry. Kick out. Raba.
That's what happens when you take two outside shots and you miss it and you feel that you can make it. All of a sudden, you're doubting yourself. And you can see what happened there. Once you doubt, magkakaroon ka ng turnover.
2 minutes having gone by in the second period. On the floor for Ginebra, little Robbie Labagala. Kirby Refundo. Mark Kagiwa is now back. Vernon Macklin as well. And there with Mac Barakel and the Ron Believers are rejoicing with that move.
They're getting layups. It's Barangay Ginebra. They're getting to the lane. Something that they have failed to do before. But you see now they're moving with so much more quickness.
Here's Kagiwa and now Kirby. Ginebra by 3. Macklin has the ball against Aluseni. Advantage, Vernon Macklin. And Macklin throws it down.
Vernon Macklin comes in. He gets good position. But then, talk and text, may idea sila kung saan gusto pumunta ni Vernon Macklin. But you gotta box out. You can see the first shot right here. Way short. But no one boxes out. Rabbi is already going the opposite way. Macklin throws it down.
Pizza's here! Sir, careful, it's hot. What's that? The Hot Dot sticker from Pizza Hut. Proof of hot and on-time delivery. Now, you'll never have to settle for cold pizza. Only from Pizza Hut Delivery.
Football bakbakan na naman sa UFL. Sa game, Loyola Meralco Sparks versus Green Archers United. At magtatapat naman sa Game 2, Global versus Stallion. Ngayong Martes, March 19, simula 5 p.m. sa Emperador Stadium, McKinley Hill, Fort Bonifacio Taguig. Live and exclusive, dito lang sa Active.
Yung ating boxingero natin.
Boxers natin.
Nakita ko yung kanina, Stallion Santa Lucia. Bumalik na naman. Bumalik na naman. Kung yung scoring average ko, lagyan natin sa football, galing ko.
Castellano, harpo ka naman. So 3 minutes going by in the second quarter. Ginebra opening up a 5-point lead. That will be last touch on Kelly Williams.
And that's the reason why you don't look at the referee when something's happening. Ball actually fell in front of Kelly Williams pagkatapos, but it was actually too busy looking at the ref.
Kirby busy collecting rebounds in this game.
Sa kabuuan, Nico, Barangay Ginebra as a whole, the entire group is committed to getting rebounds. Already out-rebounding Talk and Text by a good 5 rebounds so far.
So now it's a 7-point ball game for Ginebra. And here's Donnell Harvey. Push shot. He is not a glamorous import. He's not a flashy import. He's not a glamorous import. It will take a lot for him to end up in our top 5 place. Diba? But it's just so efficient.
Pwede, pero dadangkat siya.
Masama mo ha. Super naman. That's his only chance of making it.
Pwede naman sa iba, pero yun
Pihado.
dahil ang daming malalaking import na pinapantayan niya eh.
I hope when he watches this tape,
Hindi mo rin Tagalog.
Alright, let's for more on Donnell Harvey, let's go back to Eric.
Hindi may tatanggi ni Donnell Harvey ang pagod dahil sa tuloy-tuloy na laro for him from China to here. Sa China daw, they would just take 45 minutes to an hour to practice, pero dito 3 oras. But even if it tires him out, nilalabanan niya because he is a witness to how hard-working the team is. That's why they are successful. And with that, he can't be too bothered about how well Ginebra is doing. He knows that they are well prepared every time, kaya walang pressure. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you very much, Erica. And back to this game. Ginebra ahead, 37-32. Here's Mac Barakel. Probably with an advantage at the post here against Larry. That's why Ranadel is helping out. Here's Macklin. Mamaril. Wow! With a shot clock winding down, Mamaril connects. He has 6 points. Two free throws for Jared Dillinger.
Billy Mamaril getting another start in which was sabihin natin very productive. Getting enough space here, and that is a why not shot. Nandyan eh. At dito na ako sa ilalim. Libre.
Of course, you've probably been noticing the hairstyle of Jared. Really insists that it is inspired by Japanese animation. Mahilig pala siya doon. You're really addicted to all these mga Japanese animated films. Hindi lang anime, films ay mga 2 oras na classic Japanese animation.
So is he saying that's the samurai look?
Hindi samurai. Kasi, I mean, hindi naman siya talaga naroon ng mga samurai.
Samurai X.
Probably. He actually gave me a list of the movies that I should watch. Parang hindi pang basketball player. Meantime, here's Donnell Harvey. Again, just very simple, fundamental moves, and he has 6 points tonight.
Titingnan natin yung numero, you'd think that Macklin is getting the better of Donnell Harvey, but that's not true because they've got 6 points each, but grossly out-rebounded ni Harvey si Macklin by 5 rebounds.
You know, look at Macklin and Harvey. I mean, they're going hand-to-hand combat, and in the meantime, everybody forgets about little Robbie, and he makes the play.
And it's the locals right now of Barangay Ginebra, the locals that you can say that they're very inspired.
Paolo, back para kayo. Watch the hand-to-hand combat here.
Macklin feels that he's na iniipit siya. Nagulat naman.
Such a problem, man. Ito ni Larry. 7-point ball game. Talking text. Trying to climb back here. Shot clock winding down. Larry's red hot shooting. Not as hot anymore here in the second period. Mark for 3.
Number 22,
I think these two imports are now taking it personally. And it all started first quarter pala.
First quarter, they were really aggressive, but you know, like I said, it's a big game, and even the imports know that it's a big game.
Castro against Napagada. Sends it out. Ronnie, Dirk, nope. Macklin with a rebound. 5 minutes to go before the end of the first game.
Ginebra able to survive, Nico. You know, nagpalit sila ng tao, at nung nagpalit sila ng tao, kadalasan nawawala yung kalamangan nila. Actually, that lead ballooned while they were able to put that second unit. So good job on the part of the second unit of Ginebra.
Rocketech still down by 7 points. Here's Ranidel. Ranidel should really conduct a big man's camp for all big men in the Philippines.
You know, all big men, one thing that they learned from kay Ranidel, patience. Hindi siya nagmamadali. He knows he's looking at the area in which he wants to get to. He gets there and just finishes with patience.
Sunday continues here on Active. Laing Ginebra, ikaw na. Samahan sila Ann Curtis, Georgina Wilson, Soled Yusaf, Pa Salvador. Marami pang iba sa games. Concert ng Ginuma natin ng Ginebra San Miguel. GSM Blue, Grand Matador Brandy, at Antonov Vodka. Log on to facebook.com/Barangay Ginebra for more details. So glad you can join us with this big game between Ginebra and Talking Text. Mamaril having so much trouble with the basketball, and Jason Castro scoops in for 2.
It started out with Billy Mamaril was there on top of that 3-point line, and he was forced to dribble. kung na nawala yung forma yung pensa ng Barangay Ginebra. Good pressure for the talking tech.
Head to shoot. Here's Ellis. And now Macklin. Macklin against Harvey.
See that double right out from talking tech. Problem is, Ranidal did not close out that double. Kaya nakalusot pa rin si Vernon Macklin.
Now wait. It's simple.
And been the case all day. Every time nakakapuntos si Macklin, naghahanap rin na sarili puntos ang import na si Donnell Harvey.
So 45-42, Ginebra still on top. Bola na kay LA. LA is back in the ball game. LA fires the three and scores!
He's been hot. 3 3-pointers so far para kay LA Tenorio.
And he has a total of 11 points. So it's back to a 6-point advantage for Ginebra. Here's Castro with a miss. Macklin with a rebound. Mark Kagiwa. Mark. Hook pass. Macklin. Macklin lost his balance. They'll say last touch on Donnell Harvey. Kirby is sent back for Billy Mamarin.
You look at Ginebra, they're going to try to finish strong here because Kirby played well in his run in this first half. So they're going to try to build on the 5 best players that played the best dito sa kanilang first half.
Mark goes behind the back. Finds LA for 3. Oh, what a touch pass by Macklin for Mark Kagiwa.
He's having fun himself. Kita mo yung ngiti. Pero si Vernon Macklin, pero mas malaking ngiti ni Mark Kagiwa because you like imports that are willing to share the basketball.
And it's back to an 8-point lead for Ginebra as we approach the last 2 minutes of the first half.
LA Tenorio, he misses the shot, but Macklin does not give up and keeps his head up, seeing Mark Kagiwa wide open. Easiest shot he's probably going to have all day.
Meantime, Ellis has the basketball for Ginebra. Set up Macklin at the post. Instead, it goes to Mark, guarded by Papoy Raimundo. Mark goes to LA. Shot clock down to 9. 1 minute and 56 remaining in the second quarter.
And you know when the crowd is into it, when a player calls a 20-second timeout at pinapalakpakan pa nila.
Well, it's been a thoroughly entertaining game because outside shots are dropping, the imports are working hard. You have Mark getting his points. You have guys like Larry Fonacher hitting threes.
And what you know why it's entertaining, pleasing to the eye? There's not a lot of game stoppages. Only a combined 13 fouls for both teams. Actually, yung talking text sa quarter nito, wala pa silang foul. Kaya kita mo, ang bilis ng galaw ng laro natin.
Special thanks to our radio partners, 90.7 Love Radio, 101.1 Yes FM, 96.3 Easy Rock, and DCSR 918 Sports Radio. Nico Ramos and Eric Reyes handling our radio coverage for tonight. Meantime, here's the Blur going all the way.
Fast. Yeah, and it starts off. One thing is, there's no one stopping the ball. And Jason Castro sees, wait, dire-diretso na to, walang bumabantay naman. And then, not a strong enough foul on the part of Kirby Raimundo. That allows Talking Text to bite into this lead. Ginawang lima na lang.
You know, for some players, there's like an open lane. In Castro, it's an open court. And a coast-to-coast drive for him has no difference to a penetration na half court as Mark misses.
Another good description of it is, si Castro, pag umaangkalda, dumadrive, lagi nakaipas.
Hindi na pipila. Hindi po mag-isip mo. May exact change pa.
Wala.
Here's that rebounding battle between Ellis and Castro.
Actually, a good call by the referees because I actually thought it went off of Ellis's hand, but when you look at that replay, both guys had their hand on it.
So action continues and the ball goes to Talking Dicks. Down by 5 points. Action has been brisk here in the first half.
Foul number 21, Kirby Raimundo, penalty. That's his second. Two free throws, Larry for the share.
Foul on Kirby Raimundo, and Ginebra is now in the penalty, and Larry makes the first.
You think Coach Al's happy?
I read his lips. He's not. 1:15 na natitira dito sa first half. And Ginebra still managing this 3-point lead. Ginebra looking for win number 3. Ang Talking Dicks naman looking for win number 5. And here's Ellis, and he is pushed.
Pushing ball number 12.
That's actually doing a good job, you know. When there's a screen down para kay Mark Kagiwa, they're actually right behind him and ready to go for the steal. Kaya hindi maswing yung bola ng Barangay Ginebra sa kabilang side.
1 minute remaining in the second quarter. Ginebra goes to Mark Kagiwa, matched up against Larry. Double T. That opens up Macklin.
You know how some players, you say that there's no spot on the court that they feel they can make a basket from? But in the case of Vernon Macklin, there's no spot on the floor that he thinks he cannot dunk from. He actually just lost this.
You know what you like about Macklin? He never hides his intentions. Diba? I'm going to dunk this ball. I don't care if you stand in my way.
Of course, that free throw shooting of his, very suspect. Actually, hinatulan na eh. Hindi na suspect eh. Talagang 48% ata siya sa ngayon.
I'm winding down in the first half. Shot clock down to 3. The blur goes to Larry for 3. Yes, sir!
Wow, Larry for a share. Hindi na kinasa yung bola. He caught it right on his chest and just went straight up. Talking Tech trying to steal this half with a good closing of this second quarter.
1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Mark looks at the clock. 4 to shoot. Kagiwa makes his move. Almost a steal by Pamboy Raimundo. He never should have. It's a shot clock violation. Therefore, Talking Dicks can write the last sentence of the second chapter with 1.7 seconds remaining sa second period.
Eh, ang laking bagay nito para sa Talking Tech. Just to be actually right now, to be down by 1. You think at the rate this game has gone, the Barangay Ginebra is up about at the minimum 6, but they closed out this quarter very well. And right now, they even have a chance to lead and to take away, like you said, trying to steal this quarter to take away all the good feeling na nagawa ng Barangay Ginebra throughout this first half.
You know, Talking Dicks is on an 8-1 run. If they make it a 10-1 run, it's really a psychological edge. You know, because they scored 2 points, it's a 1-point lead. But really, it's that psychological edge which you bring to the locker room, which you use to jumpstart your second half.
Yes, and you know that feeling in the locker room at the half, it's something that can destroy you or you can build upon.
So 2.2 seconds para sa Talking Dicks. Certainly more than enough time for them to score a basket here. Ranidel, 1 second. Tonel, Harvey, straight. Just a bit strong. So Ginebra hangs on to their 1-point lead. 51-50. Stand by for active center with this Ati Potador. Richard De Rosario and Aaron Natayde are going to ruin the view. So that's coming up next dito sa active. Para lang sa akin. Oh, bakit? Di ba may heavyweight, lightweight, overweight. Well, congratulations sa ating amateur boxers. Mabuhay kayo and keep up the excellent work. Thank you, Erica. And welcome back dito sa Super Bowl Sunday. Ginebra against Talking Dicks. It's just a 1-point game. The way Super Bowl Sundays should be. Ginebra up by 1.5, 51-50. Fast game.
Fast game and no stoppages. Not a lot of stoppages. For one thing, aside from the early turnovers of both teams have kept it clean, lalo sa second quarter. Even fouls-wise, wala tayong nakita masyado. And both teams shooting very well. That's why yung nakita natin, very pleasing to the eye, very fan-friendly so far ang ating first half.
Let's go back to the highlights of the opening quarter, especially if you missed it. Ito, pwede natin balikan ang mga kapanapanabik na kaganapan in the first two periods. And, Mark started hot and basically nagkahawaan na lahat from both teams.
Both teams actually shot very well, but one thing that we saw from both teams willing to push the basketball.
Well, you expect a lot of highlights from, well, at least the fans expect a lot of highlights from VMAC tonight. And Harvey goes to Larry. Larry, one of the bright spots of Talking Text in that first half.
Larry put a share. He had 10 points. That's a huge number from the 24 na gawa nila. LA, very solid with his 8. Nakita natin, sabi natin kanina, 3-point shooting. Both teams napakagandang tinitira. 4 out of 9 for Talking Text. 3 out of 7 para sa Barangay Ginebra. But look at the turnover points. Look at the huge disparity there. Barangay Ginebra had 8 turnover points compared to only 3. And finally, the fast break attempts and points. Both teams tried to run, but only Ginebra got points out of it.
We go to the second period. This game was close all the way. Biggest lead was 7 points for Ginebra in the second quarter. I believe this matchup between Macklin and Donnell Harvey will really become intense, especially if this game goes down the wire. Donnell Harvey, maganda rin kasi yung contrast ng dalawa.
It actually had started this match. I was saying, si Macklin has an opportunity to dominate inside, but Donnell Harvey has not allowed that to happen and actually outplayed Macklin so far. Larry Conechel, pretty solid all game long. You got Macklin, that was his best quarter. He did have 9 points there, but that huge run of Talking Text to end that second quarter was a really telling run dahil at one point, ang laki ng kalamangan ng Barangay Ginebra doon. Rebound going the way of Barangay Ginebra. Huge disparity. Look at the disparity in free throws. 5 out of 5, 1 out of 2. And finally, Talking Text getting points from fast breaks. And Ginebra not running at all in that quarter because that's the quarter wherein LA usually gets his rest.
Let's tap into the halftime dugout psychology from Erica.
You know, it's been the quickest dugout interview I've had. Ang sabi lang sa akin ni Coach Al, we need to tighten up our defense. Ang sabi naman ni Coach Josh, rebound, rebound, rebound. Balik sa inyo?
That quick. That's fast. I think it's fast because, in general, no team has been blown out. No team is down by double figures. So, I mean, you have more or less satisfied teams going into the second half.
Yes, you're right, Nico. Walang glaring deficiency para sa dalawang koponan.
Ginebra starts the second half with Chris Ellis, Kirby Raimundo, Vernon Macklin, L.A. Tenorio, and Mark Kagiwa, and that's a traveling violation against Chris Ellis. Para sa Talking Text, Jason Castro, Kelly Williams, Donnell Harvey, Larry Fonacher, and Jared Dillinger. Jared bothered by Macklin, and Harvey scored.
This feeling that because of the high level of basketball that was played in the first half, that one team might experience a huge drop-off here in the third quarter. So it's very critical to look at both teams and see if they can maintain. Yung nakita natin sa first half, because if one team is able to fall off and the other one still able to play at that high level, maiiwan at maiiwan yung isa.
Last thing you want in a close game is to start a half or a quarter flat.
Yes. And usually the biggest quarter in which teams start flat, third quarter, coming out of the dugout. I wonder why, but you know, it's just natural. The mga teams, third quarter, they start out slow.
Which is why most of the great teams are third quarter.
Yes.
Somehow, they have that innate ability to, regardless of, tuyo na yung pawis mo, whatever it is, nasabot ka sa dugout, you still have that composure, ability to play A1 basketball coming out of the half. That's a foul near the midcourt line mula kay Jason Castro.
17, Jason Castro. That's his second one.
Second personal laban kay Castro. Yeah, we just showed Norman Black. Norman's understanding of Ginebra basketball, I mean, spans generations. As a player, as a playing coach, as a coach. You know, from Jaworski all the way to Kakiwa. There's Macklin and Donnell Harvey still going at it. And LA clinging to Kelly Williams.
That's a nice try on the part of LA. You know that there's a mismatch and he's trying to sell. Baka yung tawag mapunta sa yung direksyon.
Oh, anyway, that will be a goaltending.
Right now, you can see the start of this game, third quarter. Ginebra drop off a little bit in terms of intensity, taking full advantage. Is Talk and Text already erecting their biggest lead of the game. It's just a small lead, but that's their biggest lead.
Biggest lead kanina was established by Ginebra at 7 points in the second quarter. Here's Tenorio. Quick move against Castro. Handoff para kay Kirby.
Both teams actually, as Kirby's going to get a 3-point play opportunity here. Both teams have been victims of ticky-tack fouls. You can see the good move on the part of LA. He draws the defense and Kirby right there getting a foul because Kenny Williams sumundot. Same thing kanina. Kirby sumundot rin. That's why nagkaroon ng 3-point play kanina si Donnell Harvey.
2-point game para sa Talk and Text. We are in the early moments of the third quarter. Castro makes his move against LA. Rebound Macklin. LA is pushing the ball and he steps on the brakes. Sends it to Macklin. He won't take a 3-point shot. So ilalapit to Macklin against Harvey.
Hey, two early turnovers on the part of Barangay Ginebra dito.
What we're witnessing now is a very, very different pace of how the game started and even how the second quarter started.
Everything's slowing down because we're getting fouls, we're getting game stoppers. It's also turnovers.
Donnell Harvey evading two defenders on the way to the basket. But mga Talk and Text, 57-53. Kirby Raimundo sends it to Tenorio. Shot clock down to 8. Maracael nowhere to go. Throws it away. There's Kelly Williams. Turnover against Talk and Text. LA on the move. Over to Kirby. Oh, he lost the ball. And here's Castro. Castro to Harvey. And Harvey slams it down.
Early timeout going to be called here by Barangay Ginebra. Back it. The quarter very flat. Ang dami ng tinapon na bola. Talk and Text taking advantage. You see right here, this is a fast break opportunity. Again, you miss layups on fast break in the PBA. You're gonna pay the others on the other side by giving up 2 points.
It's been a great day of basketball so far. Ginebra fans, Talk and Text fans, coming in full force para sa Super Bowl Sunday. So naman natin mga ulala, mahal ng masa fans of the day. Mula sa masarap, malaman, mura at convenient kasi easy to open ulalam, ready to eat ulam para sa masa, mahal ng masa, ulalam, 15 pesos lang.
Feeling model, yung isa.
That's what we call maximizing your exposure. Meantime, here's Macklin with a drop step.
Early timeout called by Coach Al Francis Chua. You can see it. You feel it with your team na wala yung energy. Palit na rin siya ng tao. He's changed up personnel, trying to get maybe energy from both Ellis as well as Hatfield.
Here's Harvey. Talk and Text still on top by 4. Harvey sends it to Kelly, and Kelly will miss, but he will take 2 free throws.
Number 99, Rudy Hatfield. That's his
Second personal against Rudy Hatfield.
2 shots, Kelly Williams.
2 free throws for Kelly Williams. You're probably looking for Ryan Reyes. He's not in uniform. He's right behind the talk and text bench. Anong balita kay Ryan, Erica?
Hindi siya naglalaro dahil hanggang ngayon sumasakit pa daw ang kanyang left knee nung natamaan when he was doing a layup nung huling laban. Kahapon during the practice, di pa niya sigurado if he will be playing because talagang nababother daw yung likod ng kanyang tuhod. He knows of course how important it is to stay healthy, but it's very difficult on his end because he's been defending the best players and no choice to end up being banged up doing just that. Balik sa inyo.
Ryan Reyes not the only player who's hoping to play. Ali Peak still not in uniform for talk and text as well. They're both behind the talk and text bench.
Ryan Reyes, he is a stockholder na ng injured list ng ating liga because the way he plays.
Yeah, it's a consequence of how he plays. It's not his fault. Siyempre, gusto natin intensya eh.
But if you're the coach, you'd rather see your player give 100%.
Yeah. Oh! Mark Kagiwa gave 100%. But that layup simply won't drop. Here's Larry. Larry against Ellis. And Larry will take 2.
Marcus really upset. Actually threw his club on the floor. He felt he got banged in the head.
Mark talking with referee Jimmy Mariano. Sharing his chagrin in that sequence.
See what happens here because he leaves Jared Dillinger behind.
That replay is inconclusive. So it's 61-57. Lamang pa rin ang talk and text as we near the halfway mark of the third quarter. And Mark goes in and he will take 2.
And Mark's a veteran. Mark's a veteran and he will make use of his superstar status. He felt that he got fouled there. Talked to the referees. He basically worked the referees already and then drove hard because he felt that at that point, more often than not, he is going to get that call.
You know she's the #1 fan of Mark Kagiwa. For more Mark, let's go back to Erica.
Mark the Spark Kagiwa is the leading best player of the conference race, but he can't be too happy. Still with more losses than wins, he can't find himself that excited for this achievement. He's not even thinking about it. Ang concern niya is to maximize the momentum to get another win. Balik sa inyo.
And while Erica was reporting, T-Mac connecting Tenorio to Macklin, and the Ginebra crowd is in a rapture. Because that's what, you know what, that's why they woke up this morning. Diba, tinapos na lahat ng kailangan lang gawin so that they could go to the big dome and watch this.
And there's just a connection between LA Tenorio and Vernon Macklin. And they've been doing that ever since dumating. Ito si Macklin.
Here's Kagiwa. It's a 1-point game. Ginebra down by 1. Mark trying to go to Rudy, and it will be a foul on Jared Dillinger. And Jared will step out. Yeah, Rudy has played energetic, quality minutes here for Ginebra.
That's all you want. And it gives a good screen there. It opens up LA. Just cannot finish. It's LA.
So Talking Text is clinging to that 1-point lead as we go past the halfway mark of the third. And Jason Castro with a specialty on the house. Look at Rudy. Rudy! Oh, what was that? Words cannot describe that shot by Rudy Hatfield. Can you try and explain? Rudy. Meantime, here's Donnell. Donnell fires. No go. Kagiwa with a rebound. Ginebra is running. Here's Mark. And hold on. Rudy and Harvey Carey are in a warm embrace.
First of all, Rudy Hatfield.
What is the
Digging deep into his bag of tricks.
Look, there's such a thing as an elegant shot. That's not it.
Nowhere near. Nowhere near.
Look, 2 points, 2 points. You cannot argue with 2 points.
But pampagana yan.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Puntos na yun ni Rudy Hatfield.
Let's see. Ginebra down by 1. Step back. LA. Yes, sir!
Serious stopping power on the part of LA.
Oh, blocked by Rudy Hatfield! So LA is getting Donnell Harvey. Now they switch. Shot clock down to 10. Ginebra by 1. This place is ready to go bananas. Here's Harvey. Classic Donnell Harvey.
He has gotten his points when almost easily. Dito sa laban na to.
17 points for Donnell. And the lead is back with Talking Tex, 65-64. Here's Mark Katiwa.
Slow start to this quarter, but it's definitely picking up here at the lower thirds of this quarter.
Mark Katiwa with 16 points. What a pass by Donnell Harvey. Donnell Harvey has been silently exceptional.
Getting the points when necessary. At saka yung mga puntos na pamatay sunog. At saka may mga talagang maganda yung mga timing.
Balikan lamang sa Talking Tex, 67-66. Ball fake LA and he is down and he will take 2. Action-packed third quarter.
Stop the power right there. Never want to be in that highlight. On the opposing end, quiet night para kay Jimmy Alapag. Did you watch yung active center natin 3 game days ago when we had Richard and Kenneth Duremdes?
Yes, I did.
Richard really bad in that replay.
Immortalized. Hindi pa rin nagulo yung book ni Richard. Yan ang pinaka-importante. Alright, LA and Ginebra, they're up by 1, 68-67. We're enjoying our Super Bowl Sunday presentation because certainly the fans inside the Big Dome enjoying every minute of it. LA giving Ginebra fans so many reasons to cheer because of moves like that.
A great day for him.
Wow.
And like I said, never want to be in the highlight of that on the opposing end because that is one serious crossover na ginawa ni LA.
15 points. Shooting well for Rainbow Country as well. And there's Mrs. LA Tenorio and Mr. Joe Crawford.
Cheering for opposing team.
Yes. Pero kaibigan ni Billy si LA. And you said, Jimmy having a quiet night. But Jimmy's specialty is being quiet. And then when Talking Tex needs points the most, he makes some noise.
And it seems that lumalaki yung ring para kay Jimmy habang lumalapit tayo sa dulo ng laro.
Here's Mark. Rudy. Macklin. Shot clock winding down. Here's Mark. Now he has to shoot. Mark. No. And shot clock violation. Laban sa Ginebra. And LA, after working hard dito sa third quarter, gets a breather, and hardworking Robbie Labagala takes his place at point guard spot. Foul on Labagala, and that would be 3 free throws for Jimmy Alapag.
You'd think that Rob Labagala came in for one thing, obviously to get good rest para dito kay LA Tenorio, but also to not allow Jimmy Alapag to continue that trend pagkatapos siya makakuha ng unang pasok. But Jimmy doing the right thing, attack the cold player.
Oh, Eugene Tejada is in the house. Nice to see Eugene here. Of course, you saw Mrs. LJ Alapag. For more on Jimmy, let's go back to Eric.
Ginebra is playing differently, and ang sabi ni Jimmy Alapag, they are too good now to struggle for so long, and you can see how confident they turned out to be. Kaya naman TNT needs to focus lalo pa that the series of games are not easy from Rainer Shine, Ginebra now, tapos Petron. The challenge is to keep building to get better slowly but surely. Balik sa inyo.
Jimmy has to be one of the best interviewees in the PBA. Always has that ability to say the right things at the right time. Ellis throws up an air ball. Rudy Hatfield sends it to Lapagala. Little Robbie comes up short. Bago shot knock for Ginebra.
And Ginebra doing the right thing there, getting offensive rebounds. That's 2 offensive rebounds in this set alone.
2 minutes remaining in the third. Mark Kagiwa goes inside and scores.
Mark Aguila's actually shot considerably well, over 55% dito sa laro na to.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the third. It's just a 3-point game in favor of Pocket Dex. Jimmy, where's he going? Jimmy fires a 3. Rebound, Ellis. Here's Mark. And here's Labagala. And Little Robbie will score.
That's just an excellent job on the part of Barangay Ginebra. From the outlet all the way to the layup, ball never hits the floor.
That's so like Jimmy Alapag.
At alam mo, parang nabuhayan siya nung nashutan siya ni LA Tenorio after that crossover. But because since that time, he has strung together 8 points.
You know, because Jimmy's such a competitor. Meantime, here's Labagala. Sends it over to Ellis. We have 1 minute remaining in the third. Ginebra down by 3, and there's a foul spotted by referee Jimmy Mariano. And that will be the second personal against Aaron Aban.
Alam mo, Nico, ang laking bagay because, you know, with Aaron Aban right now, that is a spot that Ryan Reyes should have. He's a guy that's going to give problems para kay Mark Kagiwa, and Mark is going to take advantage right now. Although Aaron Aban, a very good defender, but you have to think Ryan Reyes is the best defender of that lot when it comes to guarding that off-guard position.
Ryan is so much stronger.
Tsaka makulit na lahat. May tapik, may agaw.
Yep, he wants everyone to know that he loves Mark Kagiwa.
Alam ba yan ang nanay mo? Ang tatay mo? That you're...
No, his love for Kagiwa is universal. Lahat naman ng Ginebra fans bata matanda. Binata talaga.
Binata.
Yes. Here's Gunel over to Aban, and the shot clock is down to 8. Floater by Aban won't work. RV gets the rebound and the putback.
He's been really solid sa quarter na to. Dito si Donnell Harvey already with 19, and then you add the 12 rebounds so far.
So lamang ang Pocket Dex, 77-74. 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Mark fires, scores!
Mark Kagiwa, huge this quarter. He's got 22. 11 ginawa niya sa quarter na to. He's not doing the right thing. No way should Jimmy Alapag get the basketball here, but still the ball finds a way to his hands.
Jimmy, shot clock down to 6. Over to Harvey, carry.
3 seconds. That's not a call that gets called pretty often, but then when you're there, tapos dribble ka pa, kung matagal ka nang nakapark dyan, the referees are gonna call that really quickly because they're gonna allow you only one quick move.
3 seconds remaining in the third. Mark fires, scores! Mark with that shot. Mark gives Ginebra a 1-point lead.
Mark Kagiwa, he's had a huge quarter, but he's not done. He says, forget about the accolades. What I want to see are victories, and he's finding a way to win. Right now, he's just won the third quarter for his team, but he's looking to close it out with a big fourth as well.
24 points for Mark Kagiwa. Ginebra is up by 1 at the end.
It's definitely a star-studded Super Bowl Sunday. Kasama ko po ngayon ang ating TV5 princess na si Ritz Azul. Ritz, buti naman nandito ka nanonood ng game.
Siyempre, fan na fan ako ng basketball.
Sino ba ang kinakampihan mo dyan at sino ang crush mo sa mga basketball players ngayong gabi?
Before, Ginebra ako. Dahil the last time, Ginebra ako ngayon to, next mo na ako. At crush na sa Jimmy Alapag.
Ayun naman, I'm sure you're very busy, so why don't we invite everybody to support all the shows that you're doing? At syempre, ang PBA.
Oo naman. At Mga kapatid, lagi po kayo manonood ng PBA dahil sobrang enjoy and kidlat, huwag niyong kakalimutan yan with Erica Chichi.
Maraming salamat, Joey, Miss Ritz Azul, and now I turn it over back to Jason and Nico.
You know, that's why blue is my favorite color. Azul.
You know, speaking of blue,
Yeah.
Mark Aguila is making Talk and Text feel blue at the
Wow.
moment because he has just had a huge second half. 26 points so far.
Having a huge game.
Tough day para kay Rob Magala in terms of guarding Jimmy Alapagi. Hindi niya masabayan si Jimmy at the moment because it's one of the few times that Jimmy actually is definitely stronger doon sa bumabantay sa kanya.
So welcome to the payoff period. Ginebra steals the ball. And here's Mark. Sends it to Rudy. Rudy sends it to Macklin. And Macklin is hammered.
Rudy Hatfield came in at about 8-minute mark nung laro na to. Not really a lot of points to show for, but yung energy, nakakahawa yan eh. And Rudy has played with a lot of energy.
And when you look at Ginebra, hindi pa naging energetic sila lahat. Tapos hawa-hawa sila. Macklin is the perfect import to feed off that kind of energy.
He can feed off it or he can start it for them because of his yung mga dunk niya.
So it's 82-77 in favor of Ginebra. Early stages of the fourth quarter. And batting for the share with a huge steal. Here's Jimmy for three. Yes, sir!
That's what you call a copyright move. Jimmy Alapag, 3-point shot, fast break. For him, it's almost like a layup.
I think even Ginebra fans knew that shot was going in. Meantime, loose ball picked up by Kelly. There's Jimmy. Jimmy, again! No! Kelly Williams is fouled. Jimmy wanted that shot. Yes. I also would have given Doc and Tex the lead.
Turnover starting to hurt Barangay Ginebra. This is the first of this quarter, and this ends up, like we said, we can put a copyright on this move. 3-point shot and a fast break. As good as a layup, like we said. But after that, Nico, turnover na naman para sa Barangay Ginebra.
Kelly makes 1 out of 2. Therefore, Ginebra keeps their 1-point lead, 82-81.
Nice thing about having LA back is that you're going to have to make Jimmy work on both ends of the court right now. Sa Pinoy, seryoso ka? Seryoso ka ba? Natak mo ba to? From the ground to a dunk.
Are you serious?
In English.
But he missed the free throw, which really is his moment of weakness whenever he's on the free throw line. But nonetheless, he gives Ginebra a 3-point advantage, 84-81. It's Kelly Williams for 3.
I mean, has not really shot well this entire second quarter conference, Nico. It's Kelly.
Here's Ellis. No go. Rebound. Kelly Williams. And Doc and Tex trying to erase this 3-point deficit. Jared on the move. Jared misses it. Rudy will fly out of bounds. And that ball is alive. And Jimmy sends it to Jared. And Jared will miss. And it's non-stop action here in the fourth quarter. What's wrong with Macklin?
He got hit in the face. Jared went up for that shot. Pero nakita natin, entertainment, value, napakataas din sa laro na to.
Okay, Macklin is electrifying the crowd tonight. For more on VMAC, let's go back to Erica.
Hindi ma-describe ni Vernon kung gaano siya ka-overwhelmed sa suportang binibigay sa kanya ng mga Ginebra fans. Lahat daw sila pumupunta sa practices at nakaka-overwhelm ang presence ng mga tao sa mga venue. Pati ang kanyang social media, ang kanyang Twitter, lagi daw napupuno ng mga mentions. Kaya naman, he's always very inspired to play his best sa mga laro. Balik sa inyo.
Is Miss Ritz Azul helping you out with your reports, Erica? Because she's seated right beside you.
Hindi, gusto lang daw niya makita how exciting it is to watch the basketball game talaga sa court side. Ayun, balik sa inyo.
Thank you. Here's Ellis to Macklin.
Sinisigawan niya ba si Ritz?
Parang. There's Ellis. Gonna get away. And now, it's an 86-82 ball game. You know, the atmosphere inside the Big Dome, it's as if we're in the last 4 minutes of the game. We still have 9 minutes to go in the fourth.
And sometimes, that is very... Hanapan pa ng paraan ni Jason Castro. Sneaky. Very sneaky. But you know, as players, that's something that you have to realize, that it's actually still a long game. That's why Coach Al Francis actually sat down Mark Kagiwa, because he knows kailangan mo siya sa ulit. Impact. Both imports have actually had 19 points. But the louder points, yung mga puntos na may impact dun sa crowd na nagpapabuhay, has gone the way of Macklin so far.
Yeah, I know Richard, the active center, is itching to say hindi rin. Sabagay, kalaban na yan. Meantime, here's LA. Dangerous bounce pass. And referees will confer. It will stay with Ginebra.
Yeah, LA is upset at Mac because you gotta run. You cannot stop running. That's why it's called a fast break. You run all the way to the hoop. LA and Mac Brakel, miscommunication, but still able to get away with it.
Well, Mark, you know what? It's just impressive how Mark keeps his game at such a high level. I mean, through injuries and through age and through tenure and a lot of new guys coming in, and it hardly matters with Kagiwa because for Mark, he is, he just believes to the core that he's still the best.
Well, when did he win his MVP? Wasn't it last year?
Yes.
Okay. And people seems that parang iniisip nila, ano ba? May edad na to si Mark Kagiwa. Oh, may edad, pero di gaano kalaki. Lahat naman tayo may edad eh. But the thing is,
ayaw may edad.
Well, the thing is, Mark Kagiwa had like a year or two that he came back from the States out of shape.
Because of injury. Yeah.
And he struggled with that. And he actually got an injury because he was overweight. He started out overweight. And since then, he has corrected that and he's come into camp in shape. And that's why he has had his success. The last 2 years have been great for Mark Kagiwa. And at this one, so that's a long run of actually being relevant in most of the best player of the conference honors. Could be a huge deal here, Miko. Picking up the 4th team foul very early is Barangay Ginebra because Stock and Tex, one of those teams na hindi nagtatapon ng puntos pagdating sa free throw line. Shooting about 70+% from the free throw line, and that's huge.
8 minutes remaining in the fourth. Ginebra on top. Susulitin na lang pag may timeout.
Oo.
Because the action tonight has been absolutely non-stop.
Yes.
And it's both ends. Ginebra, they're running and they're gunning and yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. You're welcome. That's of course Miss Ritz Azul gracing the Big Dome. The stars are here. Billy Crawford is also watching the game tonight at courtside.
When it's Super Bowl Sunday, it's the chance for the stars to come out because they're huge games every Sunday.
Entertaining. This is an entertaining game. meantime, here's Larry from the show. We're coming off a talk and text timeout. Nice fake by Ranidel. And I believe he even faked teammate Jared Dillon.
Sakit nun para sa Talk and Tech. You see Coach Norman very upset because he called that timeout, wanting to get momentum pagkatapos ng timeout yun, coming out of that set play.
Here's Mark. Ellis with the rebound. Back to Kagiwa and now to LA. LA for 3. Rebound, Jason Castro.
But you know, something that's been going well para sa Barangay Ginebra, you rebounding, especially Ellis, coming out of that spot, he's getting a lot of rebounds.
Short. That's short. And Ginebra will regain possession here. 7 and 18 to go in the ball game.
Good defensive stats para sa Barangay Ginebra, really forcing Talk and Text into tough shots or turnovers.
Ellis fires and scores.
Rewarded. He's finally rewarded with those 2 points because he has helped dun sa rebounding side in a big way.
Castro with a miss. Whoop. Harvey keeping that ball alive. Good job by Donnell Harvey. Here's Ranidel for 3.
Donnell Harvey has been a beast in terms of rebounding. Gets another rebound right here. Pero sabi ni Macklin, kanina ka pa. Able to time this one. And off the head of Harvey.
Now Macklin with 21 points. And Ginebra is on top, 92-84. Biggest lead by Ginebra in this game. Jimmy thinking about the 3. Goes inside, top shot. And Harvey will connect.
Harvey, again, from the offensive rebound. Macklin's got to do a better job. Namlagyan siya ng tao because that all those extra points killing Ginebra right now.
Macklin and Donnell Harvey, 21 points each. Here's Ellis. Shot clock down to 5. Ellis has to move.
He actually had a layup if he went straight for it.
Jimmy for 3. Yes, sir!
And that's the thing with Talk and Text. Binigyan ng pagkakataon ng Barangay Ginebra out of those offensive rebounds and they missed one right there by a turnover. And again, Talk and Text makes them pay out of the turnover.
5 and 26 remaining in a pulsating fourth period. Mark Aguiwa wants that ball against Jason Castro. Shot clock down to 6. Mark with 26 points tonight. Mark fires, take 2.
And that's not the greatest matchup if you're Talk and Text, and they're going to get a warning at the very least here because Jason Castro is not as big as Mark Aguiwa, and Mark Aguiwa is a very good post-up player. Well, when you look at that play, you can say that, nakataas ang kamay ni Jason Castro, but you look at the end of the play. One thing the players never realize is that when they're trying to block a shot, you're at a certain point, you bring down your hand, and you look at that play, at the end of that play, Jason Castro, binaba niya yung kamay niya papunta kay Kagiwa. Kagiwa is a player that knows how to sell that ball.
That's love from your fans. It's only the second conference and they're already chanting MVP.
But he can say that he is actually the MVP.
You know what? That's
right now.
That's an excellent point.
But you know what? But that is true. Very rarely do we hear that this early.
Again, here's Jimmy. No go. Macklin with the rebound. And Rudy's running over to Ellis. Over to LA. LA for 2.
Nico again. Ginebra going back to something that is endeared them to fans. Fast breaks. They're able to get away with this one because that's an open look. But look at this play. One dribble on the part of Rudy Hatfield. That's all it takes to get this layup para kay LA Tenorio. That is the best poster we've seen tonight. That's a fan. Whatever you do, don't give that guy rope pag matalo.
Pwede ba pakisamahan yan mamaya?
Ayan,
Wow.
Ginebra, Macklin, salampak na.
Right now, Norman Black. Okay, you know Ginebra fans are enjoying this game. Norman is not enjoying this fourth quarter. You can read his lips. He had some choice words for referee Jimmy Mariano right there. There's a technical foul by Coach Norman. And that's referee Jimmy Mariano.
Number of free throws already para sa Barangay Ginebra that they've missed in this quarter.
So under 5 minutes remaining dito sa fourth and final quarter. Ginebra's on top 96-89. Ramidel, repost, Harvey. Great move, not a great finish.
It's actually good defense on the part of Macklin because he was expecting left hand jump hook and he was there all the time.
On the floor for Ginebra, Tenorio, Hatfield, Macklin, Ellis, and Kagiwa. Here's Rudy. Ellis, shot clock down to 8. That will be a foul against Jason Castro. For more on Chris Ellis, let's send you back to Eric Padilla.
Marami pa daw siyang kailangan ayusin sa kanyang defense, lalo na sa on staying low dahil his athleticism is getting on the way. Masyado daw kasi siyang mahaba na nakakabangga siya unnecessarily that turns into fouls that turn into frustration. Nung nakaraang game versus Rain or Shine, he ripped his jersey out of frustration nung na-foul out. So more than defense, he also realized that it's about keeping his emotions stable. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you, Eric. In the meantime, there's a foul in that rebounding sequence. Going back to Ellis. Ellis has earned the trust of his coaches. He's in here. 4 minutes to go. Hindikan yung laro. It's an intense game and he's on the court.
But you know, he's the guy that you stay with him when he's hot, but you also are able to be wise enough to see if he can get anything going. Today, he's got a very good positive vibe about it, getting rebounds at hindi pinipilit yung mga tira.
Still a 7-point ball game. And here's LA. So timeout para sa Ginebra.
Again, Alvin loves these timeouts. Timeout at 30 seconds.
Good vibes eh. Labang Ginebra eh. So everything is a good thing. 3 and 4 days to go in the fourth and final quarter. Ang Ginebra looking for win number 3. Ginebra is at 2 and 5. Talking Tex is at 4 and 3. The way these two teams have played and the way the fans have responded, akala mo battle for number 1.
Right now, they are playing their best basketball of the conference. And you can see right now, you almost feel bad that another team is going to lose because it's quality basketball na nilalaro nila.
So we're coming off a Ginebra timeout here. And let's see what they'll do in 12 seconds on the shot clock. LA tells everyone to all step aside. It's give Macklin room to operate. 5 to shoot. Drop pass to Rudy Hatfield.
Rudy, ever since pinasok siya, hindi pa nilalabas. You know, coach, one of those coaches that you're playing well, he's gonna ride you all the way.
Here's Ranidel for 3. And at this point, we're talking text. Pointers might be involved if they wish to bounce back here with 3 and 14 remaining in the fourth.
Speaking of three-pointers, Miko, other than Jimmy Alapag, here in the fourth quarter, wala nang makuha masyadong ambag sa three-point shot. I'm talking text from the rest of the guys. Guys like Ranidel, maybe a Larry, and even a Jason Castro. That has not been something that they've gotten here.
Larry was hot in the first quarter, but second half, Larry could not get his outside shot going. So 2 for 2 para kay Ranidel. He has 11 points. And it's a 7-point game for Ginebra with 3:08 to go in the fourth. Once again, Ginebra goes to Macklin. Eyeball to eyeball with Donnell Harvey. Macklin on the move. There's that jump hook. And that ball goes to Jimmy Alapag. Jimmy. Wow, what a move by Jimmy. Almost, but not quite. But may 2 free throws para Metro.
And right now, Talking Tex is putting themselves in a situation to make this run right here. You know, it was a huge lead kanina. Umabot ng 9 points. Biggest lead of the game para sa Barangay Ginebra. But you know, Talking Tex, they are a veteran team and they're gonna chip away slowly.
Run it, of course, LJ. Bad about that missed free throw. Jimmy takes care of the second. So it's just a 6-point game.
Very interesting if where Ginebra will go. If they go back to Macklin, because what happens when they go back to Macklin is there's a lot of standing around.
Both teams were in the penalty. That will definitely be a factor in the outcome of this game.
I wonder if at some point one team will do a hack-a-mack. You know, he does shoot at just 48%.
Not a bad idea. It's not like Coach Alfrancis will sit him down just because, you know, he's not a good free throw shooter.
Speaking of free throws, sa kabuuan in the fourth quarter, Ginebra, ang daming minitis na free throw.
Two and a half to go in the fourth. Ginebra still enjoying the 7-point lead. Here's Ranidel to Larry. Larry for 3. Short. Here's Jimmy for 3. Yes, sir!
Again, the only guy that's making the 3-point shots para sa Talking Tex. But with that 3, he's made a game of this. Only a 4-point lead para sa Ginebra.
Here's Ellis.
Can't teach hops.
Quickly, Ginebra lead is back to 6 as we enter the last 2 minutes of the fourth. Jimmy working on Hatfield. Relentless defense by Rudy.
And Rudy did the right thing. No 3-point shot.
Castro for 3. No, Ellis with a rebound. And that will be a foul against Jason Castro. 2 free throws for Chris Ellis.
Can't overemphasize the effect of Hatfield that's had on this game. Yeah, he had points earlier, but again there, you know that Jimmy was sizing him up for a 3-point shot. Ang ginawa niya, he put his hand there. He made sure that he did not give space. Hindi siya yung umatras, si Jimmy yung pinatras niya.
Our Presto and Cool Under Pressure play brought to you by Presto and Coolant. Prevents overheating, works better than water alone. Now in a cool, new packaging. As we swing back to live action, Ellis goes 1 out of 2. That is enough to give Ginebra a 102-95 lead with a minute and 42 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Got to be a must-make here, must-make possession para sa Talking Tex. The thing that's nice about this team in terms of being able to get a comeback is that every player is a threat on the floor, and every player other than Donnell Harvey is a threat to make that 3-point shot if you want to go that route.
That's been a great point guard battle between actually Gila's point guards. L.A. Tenorio para sa Ginebra, Jimmy Alapag for Talking Tex.
And, you know, the battle really started after this shot by L.A. Tenorio. After that, nagising si Jimmy Alapag. But you know, L.A. Tenorio all game long, he's been making those outside shots. And when you compare the numbers, you take any of these guys right now because they're playing one of their better games.
They're big-time point guards and they're big-game point guards, and these two gentlemen are both.
Halos walang diferensya. 2-point difference and assist-wise, bit of a difference right there.
LA is analyzing the scoreboard here. He knows his team is up by 7. He knows time is on their side. Both teams are in the penalty. And Talking Tex hoping for a quick attack here. They have Alapag, Ranidel, Donnell Harvey, Jason Castro, and Larry Fonachel. Here's Jimmy. Wala pa rin ang talk and text, but that shot clock continues to run. Here's Jimmy. Jimmy, for 3! Got it! What a move by Jimmy Alapag.
Good job on his part and, able to get space. But right now, Ginebra, they can't think this is a one-ball game. You can see talk and text, they're putting pressure right now.
This is just a 4-point game.
Shot clock already gone down. Wala pa na si setup ang Ginebra.
7 to shoot. LA has the ball. Now he needs to create. LA, one-on-one. He fires, misses. And Castro has the ball. Pocket text out by 4. Larry for 3.
Got to be actually had a 3-on-2 situation. Larry knows it, but still not out of danger ang Barangay Ginebra.
And so Mark wants the ball, but Coach Francis Chua wants a timeout with 43.6 seconds remaining. Oh, pumasok yung 3-point shot ni Larry. Would have been huge.
Would have been huge, but a 2-point shot would not have been bad because they were actually, the team Ginebra was willing to give already that 2-point shot because they had numbers, speaking of talk and text, in that fast break.
Timeout! Timeout! Full center pick. Hey, listen. Go. Rudy, give it to him. Let's take it right away. After taking out, I want you, Mark, to stay here. Chris, you stay here. You cut through. Okay? You go hard though. Okay? But, hey, if they're gonna double, listen. If they're gonna double, hit Mark or Chris. Hey, listen. After the pass we were done, Judy, before cutting, set up it for Mark. Get the ball out.
Looks like they're going to Vernon Macklin at the post. Almost forgotten. Dito sa habol ng talk and text. Is the ball going into the hands of Mark Kagiwa, who's actually at 28 points, but naipit na sa 28 in the latter part of this fourth quarter.
So let's see how this Ginebra play will unfold. Here's LA. Shot clock reads 8. 40 seconds remaining in the ball game. Mark for Rudy. Rudy, the backhand!
Nico, the benefit of moving the basketball. Pag iniikot yung basketball, when you're able to share it, you're able to optimize the quality of shot na maaari mo makuha. And there's no easier shot if you can get there than a dunk shot.
That makes it so much sweeter for Macklin. He completes a 3-point play. It's a 7-point lead para sa Ginebra. Here's that play again.
You see, Mark Kagiwa just attracts so much attention. And again, Rudy Hatfield, by going hard, he attracts the defense because there's only one guy left there, which is Harvey. Rotation too late. Flush para kay Vernon Macklin.
But you credit half that monster dunk to Rudy Hatfield, and Rudy just playing with so much guts, with a lot of guts tonight. You don't look at his points, don't even count his rebounds. But really, I mean, his overall impact on this game. Play something. Guard, pakibantayan itong mama na to.
Brad, pero may buhay ka pa. Hahaba pa buhay mo.
So let's see what Talking Text will do here. Time is definitely not on your side. Donnell Harvey will score. It's a 5-point game. And Talking Text will now try and extend this game by sending Ginebra players to the free throw line.
You credit half that basket to Rudy Hatfield, but also credit some of that to Mark Kagiwa because they were not going to double that pick and roll unless it was Mark Kagiwa because they wanted the ball out of his hands. Then after that, you just hope that the rest of your teammates are able to make the right decision. And Rudy and Macklin both made the right decision.
This Talk and Text team in danger of going 4-4. That's a record that we're not used to seeing from Talk and Text. There's Larry for 3. Ginebra will win this game. Vernon Macklin played huge, made big plays for Ginebra. Mark Kagiwa, 28 points for Mark. And there's Coach Francis Chua with the official sign of victory. And Ginebra winning 107-100 over Talk and Text. You know, pinapakaramdaman natin, Jason, pulse of the fans.
I think you look at that team. That is a team that is enjoying right now, and you know they were hoping that they would. This was something that they would see quite often. They started the year on the wrong foot, but eventually, right now, you know, they're enjoying being with one another,
and the fans are enjoying them. Enjoy one another. Again, the final score 107-100. Ginebra winning over Talk and Text. And if you did not choose Mark Kagiwa, marami sasama loob sa'yo if you don't choose Mark as the best player. Mark, how do you feel when people say, and I'm sure you've seen it on Twitter, yung pag kino-compare ka kay Kobe na parang fino. I'm sure you've seen it. How do you feel about it?
Come on, man, that's Kobe. Kagiwa lang to eh. Pero, you know, it's flattering. Siyempre, Ginebra fans yan eh. Kahit si Michael Jordan ako compare. Minsan nga, pinagsasaban na si Kobe tsaka si Michael Jordan, tas 47 ang lalabas eh.
Oo nga naman.
Oo nga.
Tama. Yeah, tama.
Galing ha. Okay yan. But you know, Mark, looks like you guys are having fun right now. Of course, winning breeds that idea of having fun. But what else is there? That's why parang magang ngayon ng pagtakbo ng everything right now on the team.
I think it starts in practice. You know, pagdating sa practice, si Coach Al, binibigyan kami ng rest. He doesn't want us to minsan kasi overpati kami. So, ang ginawa niya, medyo need to slow down kami sa practice and hey, it's been working really good.
Okay, Mark, this happens all the time whenever we talk to you after a game. Nobody leaves. They're all standing right now, watching you on the big screen. Why don't you talk to them right now?
I love you guys. I love the Ginebra fans. This is what you get to see when you come to Araneta, especially with the Ginebra games. And you look at pakita mo, dito sa lahat, nandiyan pa sila. They're not gonna leave until siguro pag-alis ko rito. And then I don't know, it's a big for us. I can't thank enough the fans.
Congratulations, Mark Kagiwa, our best player of the game with 28 points. And Ginebra winning over Talk and Text 107-100. For Miss Erica Padilla, my partner Jason Webb, I'm Nico Alili saying goodnight from the Big Dome. What a Super Bowl Sunday it continues to be. Active Center next.